The Social Discourse Podcast with Jeff, Jason, Paul, Jay Bush, J Dash, and PT. Father's Day is coming up this weekend, and we all three are fathers. We just want to go into that, how we have excelled in being fathers. And Paul also had a birthday this week, and he had a special phone call this week. You know what I'm saying? Proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Well, not you, but you want to go in on talk about that call you got. Happy birthday again, too.
Appreciate it. Well, I don't want to break down, but my father called. I love him. It was a call from my father. Like, I wasn't expecting it because we don't have a relationship, but called me, wished me a happy birthday. Whatever. It was kind of awkward because I found out some other stuff. I ain't gonna put it on here, speak on it, but yeah, like, did you call me last year on my birthday?
So you're 38 now. I was about to ask, did you talk to your father last year on your birthday? And if you didn't, when was the last time you talked to your father before that call earlier this week?
We was in the car together. Was that last year on my birthday or later that year?
I don't remember. I know
it's like,
time ago.
Yeah,
that's
it was
the last time we talked to him.
Like, we don't have
it was a year ago.
I don't have a relationship with him, so it's like that call. I didn't even know he still had my number, but it was out the blue. I mean, and like I was extra excited to hear from him. I mean, it is what it is. Like Jeff said, I am 38, and he has had no influence on my life, so it's like.
How did it make you feel? How did that phone call make you feel, though?
I felt no way about it. Like, I wasn't excited. I wasn't angry. It was just.
Do you have it, like, when he called, did you know it was him, like, is his number saved? Or?
Yeah, I still have it saved, but.
Because last year when he called, I remember that, like, he called and you didn't answer, but then you called him back. I remember. And I think it was, your birthday is right around Father's Day. So I think it was probably your birthday.
Like, it was like a little hesitation from me to, should I answer it? But it's like, at this point in my life, like, let me rewind it. I never felt no type of way about him, like, no hate or anger towards him not being in my life. So, but at this point in my life, I'm like, it is what it is. If you call and I speak to him, fine. If you don't, then whatever. Like, I'm not gonna miss a beat in what I got going.
This is based off you saying he had no influence. How your father was never involved in your life at all?
No, I can probably count on both hands how many times I saw him when I was younger, still living in the same state he lived in. Like, I mostly was around his mother. He was in and out of jail. Like, I don't believe I ever received a birthday gift from him, a Christmas gift, or any type of financial support from him. So it was like.
What about you and your situation? How's your relationship with your pops?
Within the last.
Happy Father's Day too.
Appreciate it. Happy Father's Day, fellas.
Later.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Before you start, Jason, I feel like Phil is my dad. My father.
Me and my father, we just started building a relationship within the last couple of years. It's still kind of like I'm not gonna say sketchy, but I mean, we working on it. You know what I'm saying? We working on it, and it's more so me that be the one to reach out more than he do, or try to do different activities or whatever, just try to bond, spend time. But no, I grew up without a father though, man. He wasn't there.
You said we working on it, but then you said that it's more so me calling. So to me, that sounds that you're working on it. You want that relationship with your father, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely want a relationship with my father. I mean, I grew up without a father. I grew up in the hood without a father. So it's kind of like,
sorry to hear that.
yeah. I know, seriously, like a lot of guys, man, grown men, I mean, men that's 45, 50 years old have daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you get something that's hit and miss or whatever, but majority of the world has kind of like mama issues or daddy issues. You know,
explain more about the daddy issues. Like, what do you
just daddy issues? I mean, your father
issues?
just was never around, so you kind of question yourself, like I'm dope as fuck. Why would he want to be around me? You get what I'm saying? Why wasn't he there for this, that, and third? I understand that him and my mother didn't work out or whatever the case may be, but why not disown me, but more so like why disown me? You know what I'm saying? Why be absent in my life? I'm your oldest boy.
Have you had that conversation with him or with your mother?
You know what? Yeah, I had conversations with my mother and stuff like that, but you know, moms, they put their own twist on there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I had conversations with him about it a little bit. He was a little tipsy when I was talking to him about it. You know, we went out for some drinks and stuff like that or whatever. But, I mean, I ain't going to say it is what it is, but it's some issues that's there. I'm 35.
Are you looking more so to have a relationship with him because you're a father now, or is it just something that you want?
No, it's always something. It's always something I want. I mean, I'm playing catch up. You get what I'm saying?
Always wanted. So you,
always wanted a father.
You did, like Paul said, he probably could count 10 times. As a kid, how was yours? Were you around?
Oh no, well I've seen them more than 10 times. But it wasn't no damn 50 times. You get what I'm saying? It was more than 10, but it wasn't 50. So it's kind of like, I mean, he was absent, and just like you, I've been around my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandfather, which is his father, he passed away when I was in the 5th grade. He passed away when I was in the 5th grade or whatever. So I didn't spend too much time with him. I spent a lot of time with him when I was younger, but not too much time as I was growing to get older to becoming, you know, teen and a man or who I am today. But yeah, I mean, I used to sit on the porch, man. Like a lot of other these cats. I used to sit on the porch waiting on this dude to show up. This motherfucker never showed up. You know what I'm saying? And it do something to you. It do something to you though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I got my mother in my ear like he ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass in here and get warm or whatever the case may be. I told you.
Sitting outside in the cold?
You used to sit outside in the cold, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's rough. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, though, all of that taught me, it was kind of like a test for my testimony. But the thing about that is, though, it taught me how not to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm a father, you know what I'm saying, of 4 children. And it just teach me how not to be.
Like, for me, unlike y'all 2 spoiled niggas, I don't even know my father at all. So obviously I've seen my father 0 times. I could have walked past my father, or I don't know. I just have no relationship, don't know who he is, which is to another level. But I feel like for me, it may have, I'm not really the most emotional dude, but it may have, and this could be a reason why. Like how you say you want that relationship. For me, it's like I never had to call nobody dad or my father. And it's like, maybe it's something I miss, but it's something that I truly care less about. Like, it could be because I grew up.
You can't miss something you never had.
Right. And it could be because I grew up around people who didn't have their fathers around. Right. Like it was the norm.
Just a whole bunch of bastards running around.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the common thing in the inner city.
In the black community. Yeah. It's more in the black communities than
Juneteenth was yesterday. we editing that shit out. We ain't talking down on black people. But no,
True,
yeah,
brother.
honestly, yeah, it is true. I mean, I feel like in other communities too. Like I got white friends who don't have the best relationships with their parents, mother or father. But yeah,
But they got some type of
it
relationship.
has plagued our community, and with all three of us in our situation, all three of us have become great fathers. Like you said, for me, I feel like with my daughter, with what I missed, I give her all that. Like if even though I didn't have a father, my mother was tough and strong, so I got that aspect as well as the shit I feel like my mother could have did better for me. And just all of us have girls as well, so you try to give your daughter enough knowledge so that when she steps out into this world, she's not a pushover or looking for a fairy tale life.
Right.
And you teaching her the way the real world is.
Okay. On that note, let me ask you fellas this, because since we all been raised by a single mother, do you guys believe in a woman can't raise a man?
I don't think a woman could raise a man. I think that, well, let me take that back. A woman can raise a man. She can't teach you masculinity. Okay. I'll say it like that.
I agree with that.
A woman can't raise a man because my mother raised a man. My mother raised three men. Your mother raised a man. Your mother raised three men. So, like,
It's only so far.
Yeah, they can't teach you masculinity.
Yeah.
But it's men who can't teach masculinity.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade can't teach masculinity.
That's another topic.
Thoughts and words or
yeah, this is Jay Dash, straight from East Cleveland, Ohio. Local neighborhood player.
No, my mom, she did a great job on raising me and my brothers, man. We turned out pretty decent in life, doing well. I mean, we got some bumps in the road, some things that we've learned, and still we grew to learn, and we still learning. Like, hey, this is what we do. I mean, there's no blueprint to it, as in being a man. You know what I'm saying? Being a man, or even just being a black man at that. You know what I'm saying?
Which is another level.
Yeah, it's a totally different level. So there's no blueprint to it. So yeah, my mother, she did great on raising us. I feel if my father was there, if he was active, then I believe I would be a better man today.
Your question.
Like you guys said, like we all been raised by our mothers, and we are decent men. But my thing is like,
I'm great, nigga. Y'all decent. Go ahead.
You don't have hair. We have hair.
It's because it's from my father's side. I don't got hair. I know some of y'all like, hey, Jeff ain't got hair. Yeah.
I actually know who your father is.
God give it. You do? God give it to God take it away. I know some of y'all like, damn, that nigga had the wave game on lock. Like, yeah.
No, but to answer my question, like, I always thought that was weird to hear somebody say a woman can't raise a man. Like, because, like, if that's the case, then why are you at this point in your life? Like, she raised you.
Right.
She, like you said, a woman can't teach you masculinity, but, like, my mother was very tough on me. Like, she told me, like, this, as a little boy, this is how little boys supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Don't be doing all this druggy stuff. And I was around, like, my boy cousins and uncles. But, like, as a parent, like I said before, whether it's a mother, a father, or both together, they only supposed to get you to 18. You got to figure out the rest on your own.
Do you feel like 18?
I don't agree with that.
I feel like I'm raising Janae. At 18, you graduate high school. Well, before 18, you should know what you're going to do. But at 18, now you're an adult. You could go rent your own place. You could buy your own place. You could do this. Now you're grown, you're a young adult. But at 18, do I expect that I'm done teaching her?
Yeah, you can't.
Not necessarily.
You can't.
What I'm saying is, at 18, they know they can do certain things without
permission.
Yeah,
yeah, right. Yeah, I get that.
Like, no matter how you feel, well, I still got to teach you this and that. Ultimately, at that age, they're going to do what they want to do.
It's their decision, right?
So that's what I'm saying.
And at 18,
I don't mean turn your back on your kid because they're 18, but at 18, they reach that level to young adulthood to where I ain't got to listen to mom or dad tell me I can't go here or,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's important you said that. At 18, Janae, pay attention. At 18 is also when I can tell you, get the fuck up out this house. We love you, that's a joke.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, like, as far as the grooming, like, your parents or parent grooms you until 18. It's up to you to figure out the next steps of your life.
Right. I agree. Okay. You have 2 adult children.
Right.
So when they hit 18, what?
I was just grooming my son yesterday. He's 23.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the grooming don't stop, truthfully. Could you teach an old dog new tricks? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? If the old dog's still willing to learn.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, I'm 35. I still learn new stuff every day. My son, yesterday, he went for an interview for the city. And I was like, hey, make sure you mention this. Make sure you touch bases on that. Right. Make sure you wear this, or make sure you look presentable. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just still about preparation. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just want to just continue to keep them sharp. You get what I'm saying? Or implement a couple other things into them. I don't want to just push them out. Like, look, I gave you everything you need. You 18 now. You better remember what I told you. Get out of here, get into the real world. Like, no, I'm going to still be there. Like, I mean, we just put them, both of my 2 oldest kids, we just put them both into their own house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we placed them in their own house. They didn't go, I mean, they paying the bills and stuff like that or whatever. But me and my wife was in a position, we was able to help them get into that house. You know what I'm saying? Put them into when I rent a property, see how they doing on their own. And so far, man, they doing great. Like, you know what I'm saying?
With that being said, since you guys have pretty much set them up to
win.
Yeah, like,
to win.
If they don't, how would you feel? Like, because that's a major gift to be able to set your kids up into their own home.
Oh, it's a blessing.
And
it's a blessing.
They're paying you rent.
Yeah, they pay rent. They ain't paying what I really want.
Yeah,
like what we expect out of that damn house.
It's your kids, so you give them. Of course,
but yeah. We just making sure they just being responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like here, give us a couple of this, that, and third, couple $100, whatever. Y'all stay here. Y'all make sure y'all pay this, pay that, man. And then just tell them, hey, if y'all keep this down, then y'all have more money for this. Or if y'all do this, y'all do that. You know what I'm saying? Just telling them.
Just guidance.
Yeah, just guidance, man. And they 23 and 21. It's just guidance. It don't stop at 18.
You said earlier that you feel like if your father was around, and assuming, we can't assume that I've learned this from being around other people. Just because their parents were around don't mean they were good influences. So it's possible that your father being around could have affected you in a negative way. So if your father was a type of dude like you,
that's why I said active. That's why I said my father was active. Active meaning just being productive.
Yeah,
doing something
if
good.
He was there providing you with the guidance like you are with your kids, you feel like you would have been able to be better than like where you are right now, personally.
Yes.
And you feel the same way?
Actually, I can't say yes or no, but I know as a 38-year-old man right here, I wouldn't change anything about my life.
So let me ask you a question. So have you ever thought before in your life, like man, if I knew what I knew now when I was a kid or when I was growing up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people.
I mean, but a lot of that, right? A lot of that comes from knowledge and guidance.
Yeah, like
a lot of that comes from knowledge and guidance. So the thing is, that was like, okay, so if somebody just came and just was like, hey,
that's not because of my father.
No, but I'm just saying though, just period though, it could come from experience. But what I'm saying is, say somebody come and give you some knowledge about some stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, I wish I knew that a long time ago, man. Right. I'd have been doing this. You get what I'm saying?
Like I don't feel that way. I feel like,
you agree?
Let me finish.
I'm listening.
I feel like,
speak up, nigga.
Within my just being through certain stuff in my life, like not doing something or wait too long to do it. Like right now, never mind. But like right now, the point that I am in my life, I was like, damn, I should have did this when I was 20. But has nothing to do with guidance. That's something like me just being in my own way. Like,
but at the same time, like what he's saying, maybe, so you got a son.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you push your son, hey, I took this avenue. Maybe you did it in your 30s, but you telling him like, okay, this is an avenue you could take, and you telling him this at 16, 17, 18. I think for me, I should be finishing my degree, I will be finishing my degree, like in 6 weeks. When I graduated high school, like I'm very intelligent, and I played around in high school, but I would get A's on my tests just because, like, my natural intelligence. But graduating high school, like, I come from a poor background. I was looking at my yearbook. I think I was going to go to Duke or some shit, but that's because I'm a Duke fan.
I know what you're about to say.
But I didn't apply for any colleges, though. It was like I graduated and it was just like I didn't have a plan. My mother was going through whatever she was going through, and I didn't have a father. No, the only people who was talking to me about college was people at my church that I was going to, because they knew, hey man, you smart. Why wouldn't you be going to college? In hindsight, well, the other kids who had graduated before me, they all went off to college. They all came from like strong backgrounds, guidance, and parents. For me, I wasn't looking at that. So I did do a semester at the local community college here.
Ain't nothing wrong with Tri-C.
Yeah. Hey, man. Ain't no shout outs to Tri-C.
Ain't nothing wrong with Tri-C, brother.
But no, yeah, of course, I tell anybody, if you don't pay for your own education.
Let me look into this guy. See, hey, Tri-C is a good start.
I know.
Good start.
But hold on, let me wrap it. So I did that semester, but I also had to have a job, so I kind of fell out. And then that's really how I ended up in the Navy. AJ, a friend of mine, told me, hey, the Navy will pay for your college. So we went off to the Navy, got married, had a kid, and then I just been off and on with college. So that's why.
So you think
all this time later, that's
guidance, why you didn't have guidance. You've been off and on with college.
I think that if I was, to an extent, I feel like if I would have had, although I'm strong and know what's right from wrong, and like I'm not perfect, I'm flawed. I think that if I had someone there, like, hey, pushing me, like how my church was, I would have probably wouldn't have ended up in the Navy, because I probably would have found a way to get the college stuff done, but you too, we was out here on our own, figuring it out.
I mean,
I think that would be the difference between my kid and how she gonna have the structure to,
you would give her
need to be doing this. But
right?
like on the same thing he says, if she chooses not to, that's on her. I didn't have anybody pushing me.
You didn't have somebody pushing you or giving you the blueprint of it. But if you had somebody giving you a blueprint and putting that battery in your back, you would have done better. You would have done things differently.
I can't.
Right?
I think for me, like, I can't say this for everybody, but like, I'm always trying to better myself. So I'm never satisfied. I'm on to the next thing.
Right.
But like, for instance, in college, like, I make more money than a lot of people who got masters. I interviewed somebody for a job in my last company. He had a bachelor's, and like I don't have my bachelor's yet, but he was interviewing to work for me. Like, and he asked me where did I get my degree from. I lied. Sorry, God. But I'm telling the truth. I wasn't getting my degree. But like,
right, the ball was rolling.
Nigga, I'm on my way. Nigga, get out my money. You be in interview. Don't ask me about my personal.
Do you think that you were able? Do you think that you were able to?
That's where you fucked up.
Be able to interview somebody because, okay, you started with the company and you were able to grow within that company. So now they gave you that
I was
position.
able to get promoted. Right. Yeah. College is great, but college doesn't equal intelligence.
Right.
College just means you was able to stay
that's where
focused.
I mean, just like driving. You got a driving license, don't mean you can drive.
Right. That's where I'm not completely on the agreeing with the guidance thing. Because my mother guided me to do certain things. But at I reached that certain age to where I ain't gonna listen. I'm gonna go out here and fall on my own. Then once I fell, I realized, like, damn, maybe I shouldn't listen. Like, I had guidance.
Now,
we all had.
Do you feel? How I didn't have anybody. Oh. I feel like my mother stopped. I tell you this. So, being transparent, I came to East Cleveland. Well, I was born in East Cleveland, but I never attended East Cleveland School. Like, I had a short semester.
One that was born
in 7th grade. But I came back in 9th grade, honor roll, played all these sports. So I remember talking to the guidance counselor, like, oh yeah, you'll definitely help, like, as far as helping the school with the grades and shit. You know, because the school gets graded on how students are performing. And nigga, I get to Shaw. I start, nigga disrespectful. I grew up hard. I get to Shaw. I was hooping. I always liked to hoop. I used to cut class to go play basketball. And I remember it was English class. I was cutting it the teacher said, if you miss class, you can't come back to class without an excuse. So if you cut class, you ain't getting no excuse. So I missed like probably 90% of the semester. So we come to parent-teacher conference. Now, I'm used to being straight A honor roll. Nigga, it was in 9th grade. I'll never forget this. The teacher said, because eventually she let me in. Like I said, I'll get an A on the test. She said, well, if he showed up to class, it was the first time I ever knew I had an AF. I had an A for my work, but an F because of attendance. I start crying. And I thought my mother was going to beat my ass. But at that moment when I got home and she ain't do nothing, I knew what my mother was going through was at an all-time high, because that would have never slid. Yeah.
So, Paul, do you feel like your mom took you, like she was only able to take you to a certain level that she could teach you? Do you feel like if you had your father around, do you feel like your father would have took you to a different level?
I can't say yes or no. Like, I remember being in high school, what my mother told me when I started, like, falling off, like, acting up. Like, she told me point blank, I got my high school diploma. If you don't get yours, that's on you. So it's basically like I didn't get mine. And it wasn't because I didn't have a father, just because I wanted to do what I wanted to do instead of what I should have been doing.
Okay, I got a better question. Do you feel like you can teach your daughters more, not more like, oh, I can teach you more than your mother, but do you feel like it's only but so much that their mother can teach them and then what you can teach them?
I think since me and their mother coexist, we both can guide them. There wasn't no coexistence between my father and my mother because he wasn't around. Like, we both have our parts to play as parents. Like, I can't teach them how to be young ladies, just like my mother couldn't teach me how to be a
Let
parent.
me ask you this. But if you had a son, I'm sorry.
I have a son.
I mean, well, yeah, you do got a son. But your boy, though, your baby boy, do you feel like you'll be able to teach him more than what his mom can teach him? That's pretty much like where I'm going with this.
Just because you're a man.
Just because you're a man, your baby boy.
Like, y'all, only certain sex can teach this. Like, his mother is very intelligent. She did better in school than I did, but I have intelligence. So as far as maybe she can be more guided to him towards as a school level, but just being a man, like,
yeah, that's what I said.
Like, I'm of course, if I'm around, like of course he's going to pick up manly stuff.
Around, are you thinking that you may
No,
cross out or something?
That's a good question.
Keep it on it, man. You ain't
y'all niggas get all right, man.
Listen, sometimes I think about like what make Janae ain't better than me. Why she get to have a father? You know
Y'all,
what I'm saying?
y'all got me caught up. But I'm saying
you gotta think about. She already didn't had 13 years of a father. I had 0 days.
I'm around.
Normally said they getting caught up.
I'm saying
telling the truth about stuff.
No, I'm saying, of course, because I'm around him, he's going to pick up stuff from me.
But as a man and as a father, do you do believe that you can show him more in life because you a man and you've been through it, and you be able to like, hey son, you should try this instead of doing this because I did this when I was younger and this worked out.
Well, I don't think you just have to be a man or a woman to say that. Like, do that type of stuff.
Right. I got a question because you said, as far as taking you back to high school, you weren't willing to listen. With your mom was giving you that guidance, and you weren't willing to listen. And oftentimes that's the case with people.
Yeah.
If I'm saying this, so what if is that an option for your son or your daughters to when you're giving them that guidance and they don't listen? How can we as parents, if we have a kid with that mind state that I'm going to do what I'm going to do, I'm going to do what I want to do. I know my parents are saying this, but this is what I want to do.
Sheesh. Okay, we're parents. Like, once our kid is born, like, and they start to come into their own, they get their own mindset. You can tell as a small kid, like,
the personality.
Yeah. So as they get older, you can kind of see who your kid is. How, like, if you got a kid that, even though you can pop them or tell them, don't do this, you ain't gotta lie about this, they're still going to lie, right? So you can pre-see that your kid, oh, this little motherfucker's a liar. Like, I'm never going to give up on my kids and not guide them, but for me as a parent, I know what I'm going to do. I can't say what y'all are going to do is right or wrong. I know how I see certain things when it comes to how I want my kids. Like, it's certain stuff that you guys have told me that y'all allow for your kids that I wouldn't allow. But that's what y'all feel. So for me,
different parents,
like for me, like, yes, everything me and my kid's mother tell them to do, I will expect them to do. But like I said, they gotta fall and learn from their mistakes, man. Like, of course, I want them to listen, but if they don't, I mean, I'm only gonna say the same thing so many times. Like if you don't want to listen, that's because that's how I was raised. Like my mother only said so many things. Hey, if you don't want to listen, you'll see. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I don't want them to go down and make the same mistakes.
You don't want them to fail, right?
Yeah, but I think just like my grandmother told my mother probably don't do this and that, but she still did it. Like no matter how I think it's generational. Once you have kids, you always go tell your kids, "Hey, do this, don't do that." But
so, question really quick. I was thinking. I want to just go back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got a call from your father on your birthday.
Right.
He wished you happy birthday. You haven't talked to him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That made you a little bit uncomfortable, correct?
I ain't feel no type of way. Like I was just hesitant.
So if you was hesitant on answering the call or talking to him or whatever, maybe just a little bit you was uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if I want to talk.
I'm hesitant about a lot of calls that I said. Even if it's from one of y'all, like if I'm not in the mood to talk, I might not answer.
I know how it is now if you answer my phone call. Thanks for putting that out there. Thanks. But no, so are you willing though to build a relationship with your father?
Like I'm 38, man. Like
take your age out of it.
Listen, let me finish it. I'm 38 with a 13-year-old daughter. Like, and I've always been in her life and her siblings' life since day one. So once it'll never come a time in their lives where they say, "My father wasn't here." To want to build a relationship at 38 with somebody that should have been heavily involved in your life, like that's just not an option for me. I'm happy with who I am and where I'm at and the father I am to my kids. Like I never wanted or never as a kid asked my mother why my father wasn't around, why I can't have this. Like I knew what it was. Just like he said earlier, like I was around my cousins. My cousins' fathers weren't around. Once I came here and met them, their fathers weren't around. Like it was.
So it was kind of like normal.
Yeah, like I never wanted, like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
A dad, like my mother. Like I look at my mother, like I look at all y'all two mothers, like strong black women. Like that's what it was. Like and like you said earlier, like. He taught me one thing. That's what not to do.
Right.
So.
Right. So, but do you feel like now your daughter is 13? Do you feel like your kids should grow up without a grandfather if he wants to try to build some type of relationship?
Like, how could you want to be a grandfather when you want a father?
Right. I mean, I get that part, but in the same token too, though, I look at it like. People change, situations change. So people change.
I would say his change has been that he's called once a year.
No, right. But what I'm saying is, like, if he wanted to build a relationship,
he doesn't want to. If you fell behind as a father, we not teenagers. This nigga 38. If you call him when he's 37, then 38, then he's 39, you don't want a relationship.
Hold on. I know what you're getting at, but I'm gonna hit the nail on here.
Let's say he call you on Father's Day.
Listen. Okay, listen. I'm gonna answer. This gonna end all discussions of why I don't want a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
My wife works for a company.
Okay.
It just happens that my mother ex-husband also works for that company. One day he's walking by my wife's desk, having noticed she had pictures of me and the kids on the desk. So they struck up a conversation. I haven't seen this man in maybe over a decade. Because him and my mother divorced. No communication with him, nor has my mother. Listen,
that's your father, right?
No,
not your
dad. Stepfather.
Okay, just your stepdad. Just okay.
How long was he your stepfather?
Maybe like, we moved up here after they got married, like So maybe 3 years once we moved out here, but they dated or whatever. But okay, so haven't talked to the man over a decade. Just notice my wife, walked past my wife, dad saw me, pictured me, struck up a conversation. Christmas time, this maybe, what was it, 18, this happened. Hey, here's a gift card for the kids. Around about that same time, spoke to my father. Never once did he say, hey, I know I got grandkids. Let me send something for my grandkids. So why would I want a relationship with somebody that's my actual father?
Why, Jay?
And he knows he had, I don't care about you. You ain't got to, hey, son, let me throw you something. I see you grew up to be a man and handle your business. Here, let me throw something. You got grandkids. You ain't say, hey, let me toss them something, send them something. But this man who's a stepfather that I haven't spoken to in years, hey.
He stepped up and did whatever. Yeah. All right. I want to go just a little bit deeper, bro. Because, right, a lot of things,
All right, so.
A lot of things plays a factor, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, well, you don't know nothing about your father. Well, you don't know your father.
Put that shit on the podcast.
But no, so like, do any one of y'all fathers like did drugs play a factor or anything like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I don't.
It has to have some type of reason. I know for sure. Like, it's no good men out here.
The drug era.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no good men out here. Niggas ain't shit. This and third. Cool. Some ain't shit.
Right.
So it's like deadbeat dads or whatever. But I know a lot of fathers out here is like, man, well, my father ain't in my life. Shit, last time I seen him, he was on dope.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
you know what I'm saying?
For me, I from my knowledge of who he is, I just know he was in and out of prison. I never knew of him to be on drugs.
Okay.
I just know.
So it's something. Yeah. So it's a reason.
Who knows?
Yeah. It's something. It's something. So he been in and out of prison the majority of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
For me, I was I was young, elementary school, and my older brother, his father was involved in this life, and my younger siblings, they know who their fathers are, but they don't have relationships with those dudes.
Okay.
For me, so I asked my mother one day, I'm like, well, who was my father? I was in elementary school, I never forget this shit. And she was like, well, who was my father? Where's my father at? And she was like, why you worried about a nigga who ain't worried about you? I was like, God.
But that's real shit. But yeah, and actually, like, I don't know. Like I said, for me, I was like, even at a young age, I'm like, yeah, you don't want to tell me what's going on. And the way I feel like she ain't know who my father was, which is possible. Like, as you get older, you know how women are.
I'm your father, man. Good hug, son.
You know how women are, because women sometimes do play a role in why fathers aren't around. I don't think that's the case. I was talking to one of my friends. I'm gonna just say P.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, if he was in my shoes, that shit would drive him crazy because he needs to know where he's from, and I get that.
Yeah.
I think that for me, it would be interesting at 37 for me to find out who my father is, but it would be more so like, because who knows? Maybe this nigga don't know I exist. My father could be dead years ago. Nigga could have died that year. Who knows? It's
incarcerated, anything.
Unsolved mysteries.
So,
if let's say he is alive and he meets me and he wants a relationship, I could build with him as a friendship. He won't meet my daughter no time soon. No time soon.
Right.
Because you're a dude.
But you're willing to build, though.
I'm willing to figure out where I came from and see what kind of guy you are, if you're worth. Janae's my most precious jewel. If you're worth bringing around my daughter, we could be cool. I would never refer to you as dad, and it could be no fault of your own. I would never refer. I take pride that I've never had to call a man dad. I know that's crazy, but
You take pride into that?
calling a nigga dad is gay. But no, but no. I don't know. It's weird. I do take some pride into that though.
Why?
Because the man I became, I have to give no man credit for that. It probably is weird, but I raised myself.
The man you become.
The man that stands in front of you, that y'all look at as a stand-up guy, I made that. I developed myself. My mother did what she could to a certain point, but the values that I stand up for, which y'all will hear more on the podcast, but y'all niggas know me.
That's
Y'all
why
know
goes into
how
what
I
I'm saying.
am is how I decided to be. No, I can't say I had a male role model. I got cool people who I've been around. Strong men, but they weren't around to the point where they guided me.
See, that's why I was more so my answers to the questions. Like, the person you are is up to you. Like, yeah, your parent or whoever around you to you guide you can get you to this, but who you ultimately become is on you. Like, I'm satisfied with who I am. Like, even to you not knowing your father, like, that would have been fine with me also in hindsight, because what did he actually do other than lay down and conceive me? Like,
Do you feel like you, unlike us, real niggas from East Cleveland, EC,
East of
East of Camp. Unlike us, like you do,
the OJ's.
you want that relationship with your father.
Of course.
And earlier, I was gonna hit you
It's
with
healthy,
a
man.
question because you said y'all. I kind of started it. You said that we working on a relationship, but in actuality, is you working on a relationship. You're trying to build a relationship with your father.
And why do you think it's healthy?
And why?
Because it is healthy,
is that
though.
something that you? It's something that you've always wanted, obviously.
Of course.
You sit on the porch
Of course.
and wait on them.
Wait for him all day,
He
all
let you
night,
down.
like a whole lot
And
of other
even
kids.
into adulthood, if you don't call him, how often does he call you?
He don't call as much as I
That you would
want.
like.
I would like for him to. You know what I'm saying? I would want him to.
You're
but, I mean,
suffering from battered child syndrome.
no, it's not bad at this nigga thinking dark.
It's like actually
no,
like a
seriously,
female,
no.
like
No, like a female what?
because a dude can do a female dirty, let them down, stand them up,
A dude, not me.
and they'll still
I'm
be
a
willing
guy.
to
Stick by
You
sit
say-
by him.
You say a female, right?
I'm not calling you a female.
No,
I'm saying that's
no. You say a female. I want to say more so like, let's use a puppy
okay.
for example.
Right.
Let's use a puppy. No matter like what you do to a puppy or whatever, you can whoop the puppy, hit the puppy, kick the puppy,
Right.
whatever. If you call that puppy is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or even if you don't call the puppy, the puppy is still gonna be right there, right next on the side of you. It's about loyalty, though. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you loyal to?
It's a
about-
big difference.
I mean, but
you've
bond with
given
them,
the
yeah.
puppy a reason to be loyal to you. Your father, from what you've told
Well,
us, has not given you.
I
a
get
reason
it.
to be
No.
loyal.
I get that part. But the thing is, though, is just looking for love. And I mean, a lot of people look for love in all the wrong places. I'm just gonna say that. But it's like a lot of people look for love in all the wrong places or whatever. But the thing is, though, and the Bible teach you on. I don't want to get biblical at all, but the Bible teach you about honoring thy mother and thy father in your days of the life will live longer. You'll live longer on earth. You know what I'm saying?
How could? Go ahead.
I know you are. How can you honor somebody? I get it, but I mean, it's just that, and I know your heart right now is like so
so hard. But both of y'all, it's so no, I'm not saying see y'all heart right now is so hard, and that's my opinion. But y'all have an empty space, just like a lot of other men out here in this world. Y'all have an empty space that y'all really need y'all father, like as we all do. You know what I'm saying? And I want y'all to hit my cash app from telling y'all this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need y'all fathers in y'all life, and currently, even currently, as a kid, and even like now, it would do something different to you. It's just I don't know what it is, but it's something different. You know what I'm saying? It's something different. Man.
You think we need our fathers currently?
And by no means am I knocking you for feeling this way about your father. Hit my cash app, man. You know what I'm saying?
Why would you say currently we need?
Even currently though, man, just because you ever bought something or did something that you bought something you always wanted or just did something you always wanted to do. Okay, you bought the Puma 12, right? You bought the Puma 12s because you couldn't afford them when you was a kid, right? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have bought them at the age of 38 because you couldn't afford them when you was a kid. It's the same concept. It's like, man, you know what? I really wanted my father. Or I really wanted my father or whatever, and he wasn't there. So I'm going to accept him whenever I can, if that makes sense. Like, I'm going to get him. Whenever he comes knocking at my door, whenever I get that phone call, don't get me wrong, like, my voice, my throat going to be dry a little bit because I got some anger built up in me, this and the third. But it's kind of like, man, this is the call I really been waiting for. That's all I wanted this nigga to do is ever fucking call me to see how I'm doing or to talk to my kids or whatever the case may be. See, with me, like, I don't feel that way. Honestly, like, I never questioned my mother on why. Like, because I knew, like, I had love for my mother, my grandmother, her side of I had love, even as a
be there, he would have been there.
Yeah, like I get it. Even but a lot of things. I mean, not making no excuses for him, but I mean, just a lot of things happen in life, though. There's deadbeats like my father, right? My father wasn't really around. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like, I knew who he was. He came around, hit and miss. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as I'm growing up, man, I probably out of 365 days, man, I probably seen my father maybe not even 10 times. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Out of 365 days, probably not even seen him 10 times.
We're fathers now.
Right.
Being a father, doesn't that make you realize how bad your father was? Could you do that to your kids?
No, I can't do that to my kids.
So why are you?
And I don't have no understanding.
Doing that
but here's the thing, though.
It's not right, all right?
I really don't have no understanding on why was he absent. Really, I mean, no truth. I mean, I know, like, okay, you live in your life, you out here, you remarried a few times or whatever. You out here, you living in Atlanta or you living in the Carolinas or whatever.
He's not here no more.
No, he's here. He's here in Cleveland now. Oh. Like, you know what I'm saying? But since he's been back here in Cleveland, this is really where I was like, man, you know what? I got to build a relationship. And if he's not willing to do it, if he's not going to be man enough to do it, then I'm going to have to step up and be man enough to do it. We both can't be stubborn. Hold on. We both can't be stubborn. And I get what you're about to say, like, oh, you got to make him have a relationship. It's not making that relationship. It's me, like,
but hold on,
starting a relationship.
Okay, you said you got to be man enough, even if he is standing off. Yeah, like you was man enough to extend your hand.
Right.
That's up to him to grab it. Like, I'm not going to keep on extending my hand if you're not going to grab it.
I mean, it's kind of like that person that you speak to at work, mm-hmm. and that's that time that person don't speak to you. You're like, this motherfucker ain't speak to me. Then you try again. You're like, oh man, that's for sure. This motherfucker, he heard me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I tried. I made it. The first time probably was fluke, but I tried again. Mm-hmm. He didn't speak to me. So, but I mean, it's kind of like that in that way or whatever. But the thing is, though, I mean, me personally, Yeah.
I just keep speaking. And one day you're gonna slip up and you're gonna speak to me.
Nah.
Yeah.
You
One day
really
you're gonna slip
want
up.
that
And
relationship.
a lot of people pride getting in the way. Oh, I'm a man, you should speak to me, or you should do this, or you should be reaching out to me. Like, nah. Like, me personally, I'm a go-getter. So by me being a go-getter, with this being said, I'm a go-getter. So I'm gonna get what I want. Period. If I want a relationship with my father, I'm gonna get it. If I gotta continue, if I have to continue, just be like, if I gotta make the calls, one day you're gonna end up calling me. I mean, which he have. He don't call as much as I want him to, but he called.
You're putting a lot on. It's obvious that you want that relationship. And for me, I'm understanding that just because I don't care for that doesn't mean it's probably people who gonna watch or listen on Spotify or watch on YouTube that will be like, yeah, I understand what Jason's saying. But what if you call and your father says, look, man, me and your mother, we did this. She wasn't my girl. She got pregnant. I really don't want to deal with you, dog. Stop calling me. You're a grown man. I got my own life. You got your life and your kids. I don't want, like, you made it. I'm proud of you, but I don't want to continue a relationship with you. You a go-getter still?
If he came at me like that, right? If he came at me like that, I would still, me personally, I would still have some type of relationship.
See,
If he told you to stop calling, you still try to search for him?
Still reach out.
you can't
It might not reach out as much, but I mean, just because you get rejected in life, don't mean it's like life is over, or
Right.
that chapter is over with. You get what I'm saying?
To an extent.
Yeah, right, definitely. So it's kind of like, I mean, you gotta just, I mean, I'm not telling you to be like a stalker or a bugaboo or whatever the case
That's
may be.
exactly what you're doing.
That's
exactly what
You just gotta. I mean, I don't know, man. If my father told me something like that, I mean, it would definitely hurt. Perfect example. I mean, he never told me nothing like that, but like, I was a rebound child. To be honest, like, you know what I'm saying, my mother just got out of a relationship with my brother's father, and my father just got out of a relationship with my sister's mother. So with that being said, and by them living right across the street from each other, my mother, she was just like cross the street action. You know what I'm saying? And one thing led to another, and here I am.
Talking.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck you. So here I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rebound child, but I made some success out of it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? In spite of, and not saying that my father don't want me or whatever the case may be. It's just the fact that I just feel like he's not managing his time wisely.
See, you always had a longing for him, your father. Like, for me, like that, I really didn't, like, I swear to God, like, I never really had that longing for a father. I never had a longing to have a relationship. Like, okay, I'm going to put it like this. If, whenever he passed, and I'm not wishing death on him, like, I won't feel no emotion. But I can say my wife's father, who passed, I was around for 7 years before he passed. Like, that hurt.
It bothered you.
I wish I could have spent more time with him just to learn, because he was good at fixing house repair and whatever. He knew how to do a lot of stuff. I wish I could have had more time with him to learn from him. Like, I don't feel that way about my father.
So you wish you could have spent more time with your wife's father,
Just because I saw the man he was.
Just because, man, he was to pick up like some of the trades or just whatever it is that he have to offer. you wanted to pick that up.
Just because he was,
Which goes back to which goes back to what we talking about having a father.
It does.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't.
Hey, Paul.
Listen. Let me finish with what I'm saying.
You gonna hit my cash app when we done talking?
No, I'm not.
Let's go.
Just because he was a real guy, he kept it real.
He spoke life into you.
No, he kept it 1,000. Like, just how we talk about certain shit, that's how he was. Like, even when me and his daughter had issues, he always kept it real, never switched it up.
Right.
Like, I respected that. Like, just right. It's not about me wanting a father. Just like with y'all, like, I can sit back and look at some of y'all did and be like, damn, I really fuck with them for doing that. Like, I respect them.
Right.
It's more so a respect thing for me wanting to have a relationship.
Did you view him as a father?
No.
No?
No.
Not even just a little bit?
I
I
say
don't.
similarly with my ex. She like the first, most recent ex. She's the first girl who I knew whose father was there for her entire life. And I will say, I felt like maybe if we would have got together in my high school years, because I went to high school with her, maybe he would have had that guidance that I said he probably. So it's different from. On that aspect, I do feel like I was receptive for the guidance. I just think Paul wasn't receptive of it.
I think I don't know if I asked you, do you feel like, I mean, if you knew who your father was, and not even just knowing who your father was, do you feel like another positive man, any positive man, could be your father? Do you feel like he could have made a great implement in your life? If he could have gave you something, you could have grasped off of his concept.
I think you meant great impact, not implement. But
no, if he would have made a great impact, or if he implemented something, implemented something in his life, or made a great impact.
I'm receptive, man. Like, not to diss Paul, but that's what he said. I just feel like Paul wasn't receptive. Like he said, his mother was telling him, hey, you need to do this, and giving him that. I wasn't getting that from my mother no more. So I don't despise learning. Not saying that you did, but
I was more of a hard-headed person.
Yeah, I'm not.
And to go
as fuck, bro.
back to what you were saying about like how I looked at my wife's father, like
still in my cash app.
Like I can say this, leading off of that. Like I looked at someone like Barack Obama, respecting him. Like, dang, this black or biracial, whatever you want to say about him. Look how he holds himself. Look how his family holds himself. I can respect that. Like, if something was to happen to him, I would have felt that. Like, my favorite rapper is Tupac. When he passed, I felt something like, damn. Or Kobe. Like, I won't feel that way from my father. Yeah, I just won't. It's not cold-hearted or I hate him or anything. He brought nothing to my life that I can say, like, damn.
What's the promotion for him?
No,
and it's
just,
not
I'm just,
Paul's fault, it's his father's fault.
I'm thinking, what did Kobe bring to your life?
I respected his game. Like, more so not even him on the court. I looked at interviews of once he retired and how he spoke, how he said he wanted to raise his kids. I'm like, damn, that's what's up. I respected him as a man.
So pretty much out of all these men you just named, from Barack Obama, Kobe Bryant, and Tupac,
what did
stuff like that
bring to your life?
Like, what did
Doug like, nigga? Fuck these old, I'm gonna bum on my enemies, nigga.
Wait, you didn't mention Biggie. But what did Biggie bring to your life? Don't be disrespectful.
Nah.
I'll answer it for you. You brought the greatest rap career of all time.
Leading to what
no, so I lost my train of thought, but
what I saw in all these guys to feel some.
So you picking up stuff from different men, and I mean I've done it too. Like, you know what I'm saying, I've done it too. Like, I done seen things that I was like, because I never had no blueprint or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying, on how to really become like a real man. Besides of like, hey, I don't want to disown or not take care of my kids like my father didn't take care of me.
Right.
So if I see a man I feel is doing something good, I would adopt his behavior of whatever it is that he did. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to do that when I get older.
Mm-hmm.
Or even now, I'm going to try that with my kids. I'm 35 years old. I see a man doing something or whatever. You know what? I'm going to try that with my kids. Or I'm going to just try that to better myself. Or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I just put it all in the big pot and see what I come up with. You know what I'm saying? But with you respected these men, these three men you just named, you respected them because
It's
they
all
was good father?
No, it was all different reasons why.
He's saying that he respects the way they carried themselves and went about life. Not
Certain
really
things.
father figures. He respected certain aspects.
Like
He
even
has no aspect of his father that he respects.
hey,
right.
Jeff, this nigga got a mouth. He can talk.
Even
You ain't understand.
Listen.
We went to school in East Cleveland.
Listen, okay.
You got to smarten it up. You got to smarten it up. That's what it is.
You listen to. Okay, let me say this. You saying about grabbing a lot of stuff for certain people. Like, I don't do that. I can look at somebody. Like, I'm not going to do everything you guys do when it comes to your kids make the same decision.
Right.
But I can respect y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like my right hand since high school. Like, if something was to happen to him, of course, like, I feel some type of way. Like, damn,
Right.
my brother gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even with you, damn, I wanted to do a joke, but I'm not do it.
Don't do it.
But like,
Don't
I met
do
you
it.
through him.
Don't do it.
I met you through Jeff. Like,
Right.
we build a relationship like my homeboy.
Right.
Like, if something happened to you, like, I'd be like, damn. But
Right.
like, for a man that's my father, like, if my grandmother called me today, say like, you know, your father passed, I wouldn't know what to say. Like, oh, like other than,
All right.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
It's not because like.
All right. You could, grandma?
And it's not because like I was looking for something that he didn't provide. It's like with anybody, whether you have both parents or a father in your life, you still can look to something else and be like, hey, you know what? That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It don't take
I get that.
like a parent don't just have to be that person that you can look at and be like, I can use that, or you know what I'm saying?
If you got a phone call tomorrow, from your father or today, and he say, Paul, listen, I know I was a bad father towards you, this and third. However, if you allow me to get to know you and this and a third or whatever, and I would love to meet my grandchildren and this and a third, would you allow that to happen? He might just even say like, hey, I know it's going to take some time, and I know I hurt you or damaged you and I wasn't there for you, but...
See, but that's the thing. It was no hurt. Like I'm telling you.
Well, if I wasn't there for you.
Well,
I know I wasn't there.
Say I want to build with
you. If I want to build with you, I know I wasn't there for you.
Do you say no, or do you say how do we do this?
Yeah.
See, and again, this is with me. Like, once I see, for whatever reason, there's nothing there, that's it.
There's no coming back.
No.
Your father at the point of no return.
You say he's at no point of return, or you saying like you would give it a shot, and once he messed it up,
no return.
It's already over with.
Earlier,
exact opposites.
Earlier,
I can't put myself in it because I don't know my father.
I told you
earlier in the conversation, I told you about my stepfather or past stepfather.
Right.
What he didn't have to do that.
So that right there, that situation right there was just like you know what? I'm done.
Because
at that point, that's when
it was being but that really hit the nail on the head for any discussion from whoever why you don't want a relationship with your father. That's why. This man is no blood relation. Haven't spoken to him in years.
Right.
But hey, are you married to Paul? Or you know Paul? To my wife? Yeah, they spoke. Y'all got kids? Let me give you this.
I don't look at it as cold-blooded. I think that
I think it's cold-blooded.
y'all are
Why is it
exact
cold-blooded?
opposites.
We are
Hold on,
exact
before you-
opposite. And I respect it.
hold on,
I do want you to know that.
Oh, no.
I respect
We friends. It's a
I love
conversation,
you, brother. Like, yeah. No, give me a hug.
No, nigga,
I'll take a
oh, my fucking pants coming down. Come out my ass.
No, I mean, I respect your decision, but I just think like, man, like that's I've never been. I mean, I've been hurt about a lot of things in life, but it's like, damn, like.
But that's just a part of who I am. Like, if I can't see me having a relationship with you, like, then that's what it is. Like, I know who I am and who really fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm comfortable with that. Like, I don't have to go out and, okay, you guys have friends at work, right?
Yeah.
That you'll rock with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can rock with people at work, and be cool with them, but if we ain't got to rock outside of work, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You don't rock with everybody outside of work. I met Jason.
I know, but I'm saying, like, y'all.
I got a few people who I fuck with outside.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is.
I'm his best man. I don't know about you, but we had this already lined up for the way.
I'm comfortable with that. I'm not tripping.
You know what I'm saying? Tell us
Stop bringing up that way.
I know it's like.
But
I
what?
did not get married. I'm single and enjoying life, and she is as well.
Oh, no. She cool. But I just want to let him know where we stay. We met at work many years ago. Many years ago, we met at work, and I'm his best man.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
I won't be mad that your relationship with him don't affect my relationship with him. But what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't have to have a relationship with people. Like, how could
You kind of closed off
That's what it is.
to an extent, though.
But it's not because I hate somebody. Like, whether we cool or not, it's not.
You're like an introvert, like, in a way.
No, not really. I just the people I have in my life, I'm comfortable with. If nobody else comes along.
See, for me, we gonna rap too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta step outside the box, though. I know you're good with just who you have. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you gotta expand.
So expanding isn't always a good thing.
It's not
like
always
for me.
a bad thing.
I don't have a lot of friends, but I have a lot of close friends.
Right.
Like y'all two are brothers to me.
Right.
I got some other people I was in the Navy with, brothers to me. I got people who I went to high school, brothers.
Well, we're not about to do
But I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't got emotions. Actually,
I see.
So I don't consider that I have a lot of friends, but I feel like just how I am with y'all, I got other dudes like that. That's my brother. Like, I've been blessed with that, I would say.
See, he feels that way. Like, maybe if I went to the Navy and spent years around somebody, I would feel that way. But I only
correct, Navy SEAL. Go ahead.
My fault, brother. I respect what you did for this country. Like, he was able to go away from the friends he already had in high school and build other relationships. Like, for me, I didn't leave. So with them, it's like, okay, these are my brothers. I can trust them. I know who they are.
Right.
So I'm comfortable with that.
Right.
He knew you.
Right.
Like, the first time we met, like, it was like, damn, it was cool. Like, we was already joking and shit. So I'm cool with you. Now we have a relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with this. Like, it's not that I'm an introvert. I don't go looking, searching for shit. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't just met people who you
So
feel like you need to
question for both of y'all real quick. Have y'all ever watched that one movie with Eddie Murphy, 1,000 Words?
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me
The
sum it
Tree.
up for you real quick, huh?
The Tree.
With the Tree of Life, right? Like the Tree of Life. It was a real big tree filled with leaves and stuff like that. Each word you say, each time you talk, each word you say, a leaf will fall away from the tree.
Knock off.
Right? It will knock off from the tree or stuff like that or whatever. And once he found that out, he was trying to figure out like what the hell I could do or whatever the case may be. I'm about to die. So he started summing up his words. He didn't stop.
Okay, the tree.
Can I finish telling my story?
No, you didn't explain it all.
I wasn't done.
When you finished
Listen, okay, not to cut you off, brother.
But you cut me off.
The tree
as he
was
talked,
a part of him.
once
So
the
every
last
time
leaf,
that he'll die, like so every time
The tree was a part
a
of
leaf,
him.
yeah.
So every time he talked, each word he say, the tree would fall. Long story short, to sum this all up, he got down to his last 3 leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 3 leaves was the last
South P and Ray J.
Hey, no, the last 3 leaves was I forgive you. Them the words that he said to his father who wasn't around. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And when he said that, the whole tree blossomed all over again. It was a good movie. It made me want to cry.
I swear to God, I was about to say, I know you cried. You a whole ass nigga. This is your last time on the podcast. You get another East Cleveland nigga.
No, but seriously though, I said, damn, that was a good movie though.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry. But it was meaningful though.
That
Seriously, it was meaningful.
you saw it and like that because you the person, you
in the movie theater.
You the person who you are.
I'm sorry.
Because
who's this? This oldest boy.
You saw that because the person you are always long for that relationship with your father. So that hit for you. But for me, it's like I don't hate him.
Right.
I'm just comfortable with
just not fucking with him.
Yeah.
Like, but you know what? That's just like Jay-Z. I mean, a lot of people, got daddy issues or whatever, this and that.
I don't
like
have
Jay-Z,
daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
No.
You got daddy issues, nigga. We all, you got daddy issues too. You got a
I don't
hard
call
heart.
no
You
man
got
daddy,
nigga.
nigga.
You got
I'm
a
grown.
cold, hard heart.
No, I don't.
But Jay-Z was saying too, like, and I mean, a lot of his sons, he talk about how his father went there, this and third, or whatever. Then he just saying like, God help me forgive him. I got some issues.
Right.
Like that's real. I mean, and Jay-Z. I mean, I don't know how old this nigga really is. I'm gonna say he's 50. I'm gonna say he's 50. Yeah, I mean, like grown men, successful men, blue collared, whoever. Niggas got daddy issues is real.
But listen, okay.
You got nigga, I'm gonna hug you.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Like if there was really so-called daddy issues with him, I wouldn't have answered the call. Like I answer his calls when he do call. Like if I hated him or had issues, I would block the number. Like I don't have no issues with him. I'm just comfortable with it being what it is. We don't need to have a relationship.
Fathers matter, and I know
like
the whole world.
lives.
I know the whole world hear this and stuff like that.
I tried to bait him. We'll get to that on another episode.
Hey, fathers matter, man, and
Yes, they do. That's why I'm a father.
and it's a worldwide thing. Fathers matter. Fathers matter if they present or if they absent. Overall, fathers matter, man. Definitely.
Just like we spoke earlier in the podcast, I've been with my kids from day one, since birth.
Right.
I can never see myself walking out my kids' life for any reason. My 2 oldest daughters' mother,
Go ahead.
my 2 oldest daughters' mother took them away from me for 2 years. I was with my wife. We had a child. I could have started a whole nother family, but and said, "F my kids, wait till they older, 18, to figure out what really happened." But the man I am, the father I am, took their mother to court to be in my kid's life. So, like, right.
It's important to say that
For the we about to wrap. Father's Day is tomorrow. I don't know if this is coming out tomorrow, but it's gonna be out. For the fathers who have been through that situation where the mother is taking advantage of the system and hiding the kids, you have to go through the system to get visitation for your kids,
Right.
to get that stuff. So if you want that relationship with your kid, fight for it.
Exactly.
Like Paul did, he spent a lot of money, had to hire private investigators to do it, but that's what a father does. That's why his father.
To wrap it up, like that's what it is. It's no excuse or to not be a father is no decisions on when you're going to be a father. Once you lay down and have a kid, and whether you tell her not to have a kid, like that's still your kid. You can't hop in and out. Like he has another child, maybe a couple of years older than my oldest child. And when I spoke to him a couple of times, he's told me what he's done for her. You chose to be a father to her. You don't get no brownie points because you choosing to be a father now.
My father was fathers. I'm gonna sum this up. Points. Yeah, my father was fathers to. He was a father to some of my siblings. He got a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. He was a father to some of my siblings. He was a father to whoever he was married. He was married with their mother, so he was a father to them for them X amount of years. But he wasn't ever married to my mom. So me, he wasn't a father to me. He wasn't a fair father. I didn't get my fair shake out of the deal or whatever. But overall, I'm gonna just leave it like this: like when he's ready to become a father, I'll be here.
You got any final words?
For me, as a man, in order to call yourself a real man or to be looked at as a real man, you take care of your responsibilities from day one. So, ain't no when I'm grown as fuck. Nah, I'm good, but that's me.
No, I respect it. I'm gonna always respect them, but then it's gonna always be the questions. I'm gonna always respect you, but it's gonna always be the questions and some doubts. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna always be respect, though.
Happy Father's Day to both of y'all.
Father's Day.
On The Godfather, he said, "A man isn't a real man."
That was a good.
On The Godfather, he said, "A man isn't a real man unless he takes care of his family." Mm-hmm. Social discourse.